the Los Angeles Kings were one clear away from going up 3-1, putting their boot on the neck of the Oilers. If Quentin Byfield had just cleared the puck, just give it a little tap off the glass, and out of the zone, they would have won Game 4, gone up 3-1, everything would have been fine. Since then, the Oilers are 13-2, dominant. They seem like, in Blades of Glory, when Chaz Michael says, Michaels and McElroy are a freight train from hell. We're going straight up the ass of the competition and no one's stopping us. That seems like the Oilers right now. And are the LA Kings, is it not me that thinks the LA Kings, were they not the best team in the playoffs outside of the Oilers? They're the only ones that was able to beat them twice and almost getting them down 3-1.
Look, you can draw parallels to the Edmonton Oilers owning the LA Kings the same way they did with the Winnipeg Jets back in the 80s. Mm-hmm. It's just, when you have the structure the way you do in the National Hockey League, now that we're back to divisional rivalries, this is what they want. They want divisional rivalries. They want teams going up against the same team every year. They want that. This sport. I don't like using the word hate or hatred, but you want that kind of rivalry to be like, oh, those guys again. You know what I mean?
A little bit of animosity,
and they got it. And I guarantee you, the LA Kings are doing everything that they possibly can on the whiteboard in the offseason or the AI board, whatever they're using. Going, how do we beat the Oilers next year? Because odds are we're going to see them again.
Well, and you want to talk about stupid decisions. That coach's challenge that Hiller made in Game 4, that turned everything around. It's almost as dangerous as you playing junior hockey date, a 26-year-old single mom in Fort McMurray, Alberta, once upon a time.
Her name was Junior A. Janelle, and she was out of Bonnyville. No, I'm kidding. Hi.
Home of the Pontiacs. Are they still the Pontiacs?
Still the Pontiacs.
Game 1. So what do you think of that Draisaitl goal, the first goal? We'll get to the overtime stuff. Let's just break the game down in sequence here. That first goal, a minute in. Honestly, when I was watching that, it kind of brought me back deja vu. I felt shell-shocked like I was playing in Mississippi because Bob's sitting there. I'll take the first 4 rebounds, guys. Don't worry. Maybe you can get the 5th in the back door if you don't mind.
Yeah, look, the Edmonton Oilers went full blitzkrieg on that one. I'm pretty sure that Chris Knobloch said, okay, guys, here's the deal. Skinner, plug your ears for a sec. Okay, he might let in 8 or 9 tonight. Let's make sure we score 10, okay? So throw everything you possibly can at the net. And they went offense first. Offense first. And it worked extremely well. Like, they should have scored. If anyone else was in net but Bobrovsky, they probably would have scored 10. He was fantastic in net. Like, we ended up with, a 913 save percentage in that first game. The Skinner's 906, somewhere around there. By the way, I'm following more goalie save percentages thanks to you. Skinner was good, but he didn't face overtime. He may as well have not been in net. Like, I don't understand how the Florida Panthers forecheck fell apart the way it did. Like, I don't know if they just thought, well, this is normally working. Why isn't it working this time? I don't know if the Oilers figured it out, if they weren't fully committed to it. I think the Panthers took a night off. And that Sam Bennett, God love him, he's still the top scorer in the playoffs, if I remember correctly.
Moment David is. But for Florida, yes.
For Florida, yeah. He is...
They looked tired, didn't they? They just looked mentally drained and not the Florida
That's not
Panthers.
An excuse, though. You're playing against a team that played just as many games as you did last year, just as many games in the regular season. They played just as many games. They had guys that played in the Four Nations face-off, just as many guys as you did. So the tired thing doesn't hold water with me.
I don't like the fact that you get outshot 15-6 to start the game in Game 1 of the Cup final. And then we can get to overtime in a second, but the fact that you get outshot 17-3 in overtime, and like you said, if it wasn't for Bobrovsky, the game was over 5 minutes into overtime at the earliest. There was that blocker save he made on Victor Arvidsson where he wound up, toe dragged it, shot it right through Schmidt's legs. The guy had no idea where he was. He looked kind of like you, with only having one eye in his right-hand side,
right,
as the D-man shoulder checking. And then that phenomenal save Bob made cross crease. I think it was Puslowskins or whatever. He makes the pass over to Trent Frederick, and somehow Bob comes across all the way, full flare, seals the post, skate on post, flat on the ice. And again, he's the best skater in the world, the best goalie in the world, because he's so spread out there and he's still able to catch his edge, reverse himself, and hinge back into position. It's phenomenal. And that overtime winning goal, if you really slow it down, he's this close away from getting the glove down on that Draisaitl shot. But when you leave the second best player in the world wide open, receiving a pass from the best player in the world with a nasty sauce, just a foot off the ice, over Barkov's stick, on Draisaitl's tape. He takes that beaver tail and just whacks it over the pad under the glove on Bob. And then the greatest silly in all sports, hands up, Look at that NDP voting crowd in Rogers Place said, I know you voted in more Liberals because you didn't vote for the Conservatives. Let's go
Just
home.
because they wear orange does not mean they're all NDP
They
voters.
got 2
But
NDP seats.
look, if I could try and read the mind of Paul Maurice, and I've said it before, I have the utmost respect for that man. I've had an opportunity to sit down and talk with him. He and I bonded over he and I both being blind in one eye. That has nothing to do with the fact that I can read his mind, but I think that he kind of went in, and I this is not an excuse, but I'm trying to understand the psychology of what was said in between periods in that locker room was, look, guys, we're getting outshot horribly right now. And the Oilers are so frustrated. Like, in their minds, they should be up 10-3 right now.
They did even up in the second period, though. They were leading in shots at one point, Florida was.
And so I think Paul Maurice said, we don't have to fire everything at Skinner. We just have to find the right one. We just have to find the right one. It doesn't have to be 30 shots this period, but it has to be the right one. So find the right one.
Did you notice, too, there was a period of time in the second period where their cycle game and the way that they were engaging the D-man from the point, putting pucks on net, and to be honest with you, Skinner got lucky a couple of times, but he did make a couple of good saves. There must have been a 2-3 minute stretch where they were just cycling and cycling and cycling, and everything was on it. They must have had 8 or 9 different shots.
Hey, if you enjoyed what you just saw, we do new clips every single day, twice a day on the Clips channel. You see clips right here. And beside Dave's crotch, we have a full-length show every single Sunday, right by my hand.
Click right here.